What's happening, everybody? Welcome to It Came From GenX. Excited today. We are recording at a different time in the day and in the week, and it's kind of new and it's kind of fresh, so I'm kind of digging a little switch up here. It's not permanent, but it feels kind of cool. I am Keith Porter, along with your co-host Michael Skinner, Brian Fisher, also known as Fishbone and Skinbone, two of my bestest buddies in the whole wide world. What is happening, Mike Skinner?
Hey, how's it going? Different vibe with this afternoon
Little bit.
recording, but we'll make the best of it. Like you said, flexibility is key, and certainly with what's been going on here at the Skinner Farson household, we definitely needed the flexibility, and I appreciate it. How about you, Fish? How you doing?
I'm doing well. I went to one of the final home games of the Cleveland Indians of all time before they changed the name this past Monday. A beautiful evening. That's why we couldn't shoot on Monday. So thank you for the flexibility to shoot here on a Thursday. And the big news in my family, my daughter Peyton, as you guys know, she turned 21 years of age since the last time we shot on the 14th. So we're going to get together. I saw her this week, but we're going to get together this weekend for a little gathering at my place. For her birthday on Saturday. So, yes, big moment for her. She's very excited. She had a great time in Cleveland going out with her boyfriend and friends.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, I know you're her dad, but on behalf of It Came From GenX, happy birthday, Peyton. She's not only family, but she designed our logo, the screen that you see at the beginning of the show. So she's a part of this as well as the daughter of our co-host. So that's awesome news. Great stuff.
Very good.
We'd be remiss not to wish Madison happy birthday.
That's right. Madison had the birthday around the same time.
Born at the same day as Peyton. They're just 1 year apart. So.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is.
So 9 months ago, let me think about that for a second. So 9 months prior to that, Skinner and I may have been engaged in similar activities.
Oh, God. I don't think that thought in my mind. I'm trying to do a show here, dude.
We did not plan it.
Really?
Actually, 1 year difference. I should say 1 year difference, but somewhere around the same time.
Oh, okay,
the year different. Yeah.
Thank you, Fish. Yeah. That's what I needed to know.
Take that visual for you. There you go. Yeah. It's free. Visual is free.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh man! Wow. Yes. Skinner has a bevy of daughters. One lovelier than the next. I love the girls, and wish Madison a happy birthday. All right. Hey to our man, Skinner's son, Mike Skinner Jr., producer.
The boss.
The boss. He's my buddy. He's my nephew. Love me much. He likes the Browns, so we don't hold that against him. But I want to have a shout out to him and Christopher Dominic. And before we start, we had a segment we did on Get Off My Lawn about customer service.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it would be cool to kind of keep an eye as we travel through our local area here, which is Akron, Ohio, and keep an eye on great customer service as well as bad customer service. And I saw two places that I definitely wanted to point out. You guys know my history with chiropractors.
Mm-hmm.
But I filled out a survey online a couple weeks ago. Just why not? It was on Facebook. And I ended up getting a text message from a place called Star Chiropractor that just opened in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. I walked in, and the nicest guy you ever want to meet, Dr. Pat. His real name is Fantz, but it's P-F-A-N-T-Z. Some people might have trouble with that. He goes by Dr. Pat. The most thorough and knowledgeable doctor I've come across in I don't know how long. The attention to detail is outstanding. The equipment in this place is second to none, and it has changed my life. I've only been going for 2 weeks. His lovely wife, Dow, she works behind the desk. They just had their first child. It is a family-oriented place, and I wanted to make sure that I gave them some kudos. Star Chiropractor in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio, just unbelievable place. And also, beyond expectations, Barber College here on Romick Road. Unbelievable place. That $5 haircuts. And you would think, well, it's a cheap haircut, for $5. No. They don't let these guys get on the floor unless they are ready to rock and roll. They come out, they greet you, tell you their name, tell you they're going to be your barber for the day. And it was an outstanding establishment, homegrown, by a man known as Mr. E. Eric, who runs the place. And you couldn't ask for a better guy, except for he's a Browns fan too. So I wanted to highlight those two businesses.
Yeah,
okay.
Nice.
Good deal.
All right, guys. So let's get going. We got a lot to talk about today. And with that being said, Fish, tell us where you can be heard. And then Skinner, you can take it away.
Yeah, real quick here. Thank you. You might be listening to us on WMVU.org, Global Internet Radio, Mondays from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern. Place on demand on your favorite podcast platforms whenever you want to, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and more. If you are listening to us on podcast, give us a subscribe and rate the show if on Apple, helps others find us. All show information. We're on many social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. You can find us on our Linktree account. Just Google Linktree, L-A-N-K, tree. It came from GenX, and all information now on our newer website. It came from GenX, all one word, .wordpress, one word, .com. So all show links are there as well, including links to all episodes, videos, everything is there. So really, the website anymore, that's where you go for all your show information. And we also did add recently, I need to share it yet, a profile page to give us some more information about all three of us here, plus Mr. Executive Mike Skinner Jr., who does really run the show behind the scenes, keeps us all in line. His profile is there as well. So all there,
I just wanted to say on behalf of me and Junior and Skinner, thank you, Fish, for an excellent job you did with that. We appreciate the work, and it looks really good.
Thank you. Thank you. So it's a group effort. Appreciate that. Thanks for mentioning that. So, yeah, we appreciate your support out there, everybody. So come check us out, follow us, and tell others if you like our ridiculous antics and topics and everything else. So thank you.
And before Skinner gets going, we wanted to say hello and tell you how much we appreciate our German friends, two listeners in Germany and in Italy. So for those of you in Germany,
Ireland.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
For those of you in Germany and Ireland,
yes,
there are obviously on drugs. No, just kidding. But Germany, Ireland listeners, we want to say thank you and welcome. All right, indeed. Skinner, take it away, baby. World news. What do you got?
Yeah, just before we get started, I ran into a buddy on Saturday. We went to the Rubber Ducks game, Cleveland AA affiliate, and ran into a buddy, and he's like,
"Hey, take my water pill.
Take your water pill."
God dang it! You know what,
man?
That's Gen X right there for you.
Stop.
There is a TikTok video, if I've ever seen one.
Yes, indeed. Hey,
I'm so glad it didn't say, here's a reminder, take your Viagra.
Oh, the things you hear on the It Came From GenX show.
Hey, old man, take your damn water pill. Stop trying to act young on this ridiculous podcast.
We're Gen X, we're old.
Let's try this again.
Yes, indeed.
So, I ran into a buddy, and he's
Did you take your pill?
No,
yeah, right.
Shut up.
Take your pill while I'm telling the story.
Yeah.
He said he appreciated our show. He listens. He hasn't listened to all of them yet, but he's definitely was appreciative of the Came From GenX show. He was also a listener to the football show. So Kenmore guy. I think he graduated 92 or 93. I'm trying to remember which. Where he was, but it was nice to get a compliment, unsolicited to say the least. So,
well, how about a shout out to our high school, Kenmore High School, based here in Akron, Ohio, a thing of the past, but we will keep its spirit alive along with all the other Cardinals in the area. We want to say thank you to all the Kenmore Cardinals that are listening.
Yes, you may take Kenmore out of Akron, but you won't take Akron out of Kenmore. Is that what they say?
Got that, baby.
All right, so world news. Interesting story, and it just goes to show what today's society is. I did catch something where there was 30 340,000 jobs open this past week.
Don't even ask me for any money in the streets.
That's just in the state of Ohio. 340,000 jobs open in Ohio.
Yeah, these people begging for money. If you're young, if you're healthy, don't even go down the street, get a freaking job.
Oh my goodness! You don't want to talk to Miss Marcy about those panhandlers because she will yell at you for an hour about that. Out in L.A., the L.A. Long Beach port complex, it moves 40% of the containers imported into the U.S. and it does 30% of the exports going out of the U.S. It is the 9th largest port in the world. This past week, 60 ships were sitting out on the Pacific Ocean trying to dock to unload their containers, waiting because they are not able to unload as there's a shortage of trucks and drivers to get the containers out of the area. Gene Soroka, he is the director of the port, and I quote, "The Americans' buying strength is so strong and epic right now that we can't absorb all the cargo into the domestic supply chain." Now, I appreciate his words because he's saying that the economy is doing so well, people are buying goods, that this stuff's coming in and out, but nobody's working to move these products to get it out to the country to be sold. So it's kind of contradicting at the same time.
Right, because when you started reading this story, I'm sitting here thinking, going, what is this doing to the economy? Because I knew what the story was going to be.
Yeah.
But with nobody working.
But yet he says the Americans being the buying strength is so strong and epic. So it's contradicting, but which I'm okay with. It's a good sign that people are buying things, but I don't know how they're paying for it. That's where where my thinking is. So I wanted to get you guys' comment. I know we've talked in exhaustion about unemployment, about COVID, about the stimulus, and all the political aspects to this whole situation. But I thought this was interesting because it's real life right here.
Oh, it's definitely interesting. I'm going to throw a challenge out at you.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you did nothing for the next 2 or 3 shows, but cover this, I'd be interested to know, how is the economy doing with the work shortage? I would be interested to know if he's telling the truth. Is our buying power strong? Because what's happening here is happening in other countries as well. And I'm wondering, are other countries having a work shortage because of COVID? Or is this just good old lazy America? Because we know it's not because of COVID. It's because of, benefits and things like that. So there's so many angles to look at this and figure out why can't we get people back to work when there's so many jobs to be had. You're not hearing that report anymore. The job market increased today. The job market is wide open. They're not all IBM and Microsoft and Amazon, but there's jobs to be had, and nobody wants them.
Yeah, and a lot of people are blaming the fact that the pay rate is so low that's why they're not wanting to work. So let's not work and make $0 instead of working for, let's say, $13 or $14 an hour, that at least something's coming in. So, I mean, there's just two sides to that argument, and I can understand both to a degree. But yeah, this work shortage, or blaming trucks and drivers not being able to move this cargo, that's pretty heavy. I'd like to know, like you said, if that's the truth or not. What do you think, Fish?
Yeah, I think that I don't know. I feel like getting into 2022, things will start to even out a little bit more. It could be, there's a lot of factors. I mean, it could be that people saved up some money that weren't working, and maybe they're biding their time a little bit and trying to find something that they really want to do. Maybe they were doing something they didn't particularly care for just to survive. But as we talked about prior, I think people are maybe trying to be more selective in the job they do take, finally, in, again, decent pay, stuff people look for at any job, really. Decent pay, good environment, benefits, all that type of stuff. So as we said prior, employers have to continue to be a little more competitive to bring in decent workers. So
let's be realistic, though, Fish.
Mm-hmm.
When you think of people, you think of maybe people in your class. You're educated, man. You're a good worker. But let's talk about the broad stroke of America. Everybody's not going to get decent pay. Right. I mean, let's just face it. Somebody's got to work. Dollar General and the car wash and so on and so on. And it doesn't necessarily be a poverty thing. It could be, because you're a kid. That's a part-time job or whatever the factor is. Somebody's expenses might not be what maybe yours is or something, and can afford to work in some of these places. Why aren't these places getting jobs? I learned a long time ago, all money's not good money, but some money's better than no money. People would rather stand out and beg all day long in whatever weather conditions than go down the street and get a freaking job, man, and get a paycheck. I just don't understand it.
Okay, where's this mentality? Before I started working for the bank back in 2010, I took I went in through a temp agency making $13 an hour as the breadwinner for the family.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I had to do that for 4 months before they hired me in at the bank full time. Could I have done something different? Absolutely. I could have gone anywhere else and made $15, $16, $17 an hour starting out. But I knew that if I did hard work and did what I needed to do, that the bank was going to hire me. And sure enough, they hired me for much more than I would have made anywhere else starting out. But it took me 4 months to do it. So if you do the hard work and you act as you should be as an adult, do the hard work, things will come to you.
Well, see, that was always my attitude too. I had a talk with a girl at the local Dollar General here on Diagonal Avenue. It is a pigsty in there. It's awful. Half the rows you can't get up and down because of carts and merchandise. It is terrible. And I asked her, what is the problem with this store? And she didn't get mad. She said, baby, our manager is terrible. She's never here. And when she is here, she doesn't talk on the phone. We don't have enough workers to do the register, put up inventory, so on and so on and so on. And I'm just like, wow. And I told this girl, if I was looking for a job, I would be owning this place in 8 months. I promise you. But everybody don't have that mentality. Tell you a quick story. When I was a young boy and got my first job at McDonald's, me, a guy you all know, played drums in high school band with us. I won't mention his name. And some other neighborhood kids went and all got jobs at McDonald's. We heard they were hiring. We all went at the same time, all got hired. After the interviews, when we were talking about us starting, when they said, what are you going to be doing? I said, oh, I'm going to register. They all got upset with me. And goes, register? That's too hard. You're supposed to be on the grill with us so we can kick it. I knew then that I was different, and I didn't want to have nothing to do with them because that's what their mentality was. I'm a grill person, and I'll never be nothing more, and I want this job so I can kick it. Me, I'm looking at how fast can I become manager. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was thinking when I got there. But they don't have that mentality anymore. Crazy, man. Crazy. Unbelievable. I hope Fish is right. 2022, we see things moving back to normal. We get back to work. I don't know how we're flourishing.
Money's going to run out for people. They're going to run out for people if they're biding time and trying to. All the extra benefits are going to run out.
Yeah.
And people are going to be kind of forced back into it. They may try to collect unemployment for a little bit. But obviously that's nowhere near what folks were used to making. So folks are going to have to start making decisions to get back to things. And the hope would be that, employers continue to try to be competitive and bring in good workers. And for all the reasons we talked about prior with just having a good workforce anyway, less attrition, like you mentioned last week, Keith, you bring a good worker in, you keep somebody around versus someone who's subpar, that pay less, that can turn over. You got to keep investing money in recruiting and training and all this other stuff. So, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, it's for the better in the long run. But yeah, you're right. It's probably going to be a little while yet before things get back to more normalcy.
It's
I'm sure.
crazy. So, Skinner, any numbers you can get on this? How the economy's doing?
Yeah.
Any projections? Whatever. I'd be very interested in. I'm sure some of our listeners would too.
Yeah, I'll do some research this weekend, see what I can come up with.
Okay. And we know you got a lot going on, but thank you.
Sorry to interrupt. Our organization makes, amongst many things, ATM machines, and we're having one? Like many. Yeah, it won't be any money in it, but you can. But yeah, we're like many companies. We're having supply chain difficulty too to build machines. So orders are getting backed up. We have to change some internal procedures as far as leeway time and price increases for customers to help offset the increasing parts and equipment, all that type of stuff. So it's we're feeling it directly in our organization.
And we've all got to be patient with businesses and be understanding about it. I was in the middle of running errands yesterday, I think, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stop at IHOP and get me something to eat. Just want to sit down somewhere and eat, and just having to wait. People were getting upset, and I'm like, these people are busting their butts, man. With one half the restaurant shut down, they're busting their butts. Nobody to work. We got to be patient with the people who are coming to work. That's the last thing they need is crap from the general public. At least they're coming to work. So just want to throw that out there. If you're out in a place that's a little slow, lack of workers, be patient with them. All right.
Okay. Yep.
All right. Thanks a lot, Skinner. Great story. Great topic. Much more to dive into with that, I'm sure. So with that, we'll get on with some music and sports. Sports. That was my sound effect, Junior. Okay. All right. So with sports, guys, we've been asked. I know I've been asked. I want to take this opportunity to make an announcement to everybody. Yes, reality football will be returning. We have had some meetings, some talks. I know we're going on week 3 in the season, but that's okay. Reality football will be returning tomorrow in a different format. You're going to see me each week. Maybe you'll see a couple of these guys. You'll see all kinds of people, guest hosts. But reality football in this new format will be returning, so look for that. I'm kind of excited. It's not going to be as lengthy and as elaborate as we have done, but the new format, I think, it'll be a little more 2022, a little more spelt TikTokish, if you could say. So really excited about that. That being said, a couple of things in the world of sports I want to talk about, and I have to talk about this, guys, because it relates to us in every single way. In the world of college football, our beloved Ohio State Buckeyes, we are in the great state of Ohio, OH.
Ohio.
And our quarterback, freshman C.J. Stroud, unbeknownst to me, had a shoulder injury from last week's game.
Yeah, he tried tackling a would-be, I think it was
they don't pay you for that, Stroud. Hope you learn from that. Right. Freshman mistake. Anyway, he will not be starting this weekend. And it's really not a big deal. Now, I know the team's been struggling a little bit, and we're knocked out of the top 4, but it's not a big deal because they are playing, or even closer, University of Akron Zips.
Yeah.
I myself graduated from the University of Akron with a bachelor's in political science, and that is our football team, if for lack of a better word. We mentioned them, I think, last week. We talked about the expectations of a team like that. If we could beat Kent State in the wagon wheel game, it was a good year. Winning anything else, it does not happen. Akron should win this game in a breeze. Bish.
Akron should win this game?
I'm sorry. I'm really messing up today. Ohio State should win this game in a walk.
Yeah, they don't really belong on this. These games are just, it'll make some money for Akron U and their
That's what it
program and give
does.
those kids an opportunity. But from a competitive standpoint, these games are really ridiculous.
Yeah.
So it's just they're just not the kids' fault. They just don't belong on the same field with the high power Ohio State Buckeyes. It's going to be, yeah. I'm sure we'll see a huge run game. Screen passes, simple stuff. But
Yeah.
it just the defense alone will be too much
I
for
think the
Akron
defense
U.
will get a chance to work out all their new schemes and things
Yeah.
like that. Now, Skinner, we know this is a good opportunity financially for the University of Akron, but does this cheapen the college football schedule when you see games like this, or just all of the schedules? Really, you got maybe Alabama has a couple of tough SEC matches up throughout the year, and of course we'll have. 1 year Iowa will be good, or Wisconsin or Penn State will have that. But for the most part, we play these cake games. Is it the nature of the beast, or does games like this cheapen the college football schedule?
Well, what I wanted to say real quick is they're not starting their quarterback this week. What does that tell Akron U athletes right off the bat? Well, you guys are nothing but chomp. We're going to start our second string quarterback and let our first one rest.
But don't you think Akron knew that going into it?
Yeah, but how does that make a kid feel at Akron U when you see this kind of stuff, especially in the media? I feel bad for Akron U.
I don't think it affects them like that. I see what you're saying, but I think they know going into this they're not on the same level as the Big Ten.
As far as the quality of athletes in these schedules, every team does it. They usually have it. They're starting to go to these non-conference powerhouses. Like we played Oregon 2 weeks ago and lost. And they try to do at least one good game, and then they have like 3 other games that are tune-ups prior to the Big Ten starting. All the teams do it. SEC teams do it all the same. They play a bunch of cake teams from not the ACC, but there's another conference down there in Florida that you don't even know who these teams are. They call it basket weaving schools.
Yeah.
At least we're not Alabama, who plays that chump team 3 days or 10 weeks into the season for a break. We're knee deep in the Big Ten going through into the championship game. They take, I think it's like week 8 or 9. They play some chump team that is out of conference, and that gives them a break.
Here's the one I don't like. I don't like when they pay a chump team for like senior day or homecoming or something like that. I think that just kills the spirit of competition because you want to guarantee a victory on your special occasion.
Right.
That's
matter
horrible
of fact,
in my
I think
opinion.
It's senior day down in Alabama that they play the chump team every year.
And of course, this bit Michigan in the butt a few years ago. They paid a couple $1 million, I think, for homecoming or something, just for Appalachian State to come in and rock their heads.
That was like 10 or 12 years ago. It's hard to believe it's been that long ago.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was one of the best days of my life.
Yesterday.
Yeah, one of the greatest days ever. Okay. All right. Well, college football, we're going to our 3rd week. Ohio State's definitely is a growing team. We've got some issues that we didn't foresee, but we got some new young players. And I think this weekend they'll have a easy time getting through this game. Okay, guys, moving on real quick. I read an interesting story, kind of funny today, where Shaquille O'Neal said, let me read this for you here. He said he recalls when Halle Berry's beauty completely stunned him at the free throw line. Now, I thought this was funny because Shaquille O'Neal, if he was in the gym by himself, he looked stunned at the free throw line. But basically what he was saying was he saw Halle Berry and her beauty rocked him so hard he could hardly shoot the basketball. And I'm sitting there thinking, wow, guy like Halle Berry, like the next person. I am not of that group that just thinks she is, man, I fall out when I see her. So I thought it'd be kind of fun, guys, if we would name a few people. If you're at the free throw line, Skinner, who would stun you?
I actually have 3 names, and you might be surprised by the last one. First one would be Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah.
She is just one of those ladies that from the very get-go, I had that celebrity crush.
Yes.
And same with the next name, Charlize Theron from South Africa.
Good
There's
choice.
another stunning, beautiful. From my understanding, she's a very down-to-earth person, even though being a celebrity. And here's the third one: is Robert Downey Jr. This guy, his movies, his everything that he's done over his, his all the things he's overcome, addiction, the whole 9 yards. He's a fascinating individual. I love his portrayal of course, Tony Stark in Iron Man, which probably seals the deal with why I named him as one of those three that would definitely stop me in my tracks.
Okay, a great list. Fish.
Well, obviously, my lovely girlfriend Allie, of course, would be on the list. Obviously.
Hey.
Yes.
Oh man, did you really play that card? Yep. Come on, man, don't be cheap. Stop.
No, there's obviously we're all allowed to think other people are.
Allie does not exist.
Okay, Alexandra Daddario. So she's on that new series on HBO Max, White Lotus. I mean, just beautiful, stunning blue eyes, and Charlize Theron actually made my list too. Skinner.
Wow,
Just every time I see her on stuff,
I'm big about her too.
She's beautiful, and she just seems cool. Like she'd be fun to go sit at a bar and have tequila with or something like that. It probably would be a terrific time.
Or go to church with.
Just right. Just hanging out. And I actually had a list right here. Sorry. Scarlett Johansson. I mean, every time I see her on stuff,
I like Scarlett too.
And Gal Gadot would be really make a strong contender on that list as well for me. So the superhero stuff and just seeing them in those roles and everything else. Yeah.
And staying in flow with the superhero stuff. I only like Scarlett Johansson when she's in Black Widow persona.
Yeah.
There's something about her. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Great list, guys. It's so funny. I had pulled up a list of the most beautiful celebrities. Number one was Scarlett Johansson.
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay. So it's so funny. I told you guys to make a list. I didn't make one of my own. But that's okay. I can tell you up to bat who would do it for me.
Pull up your Facebook dating
right. There you go.
I'm sure there's plenty on there.
Oh my gosh, you ain't kidding, man. Number one would be Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
Ever since I saw her in Speed, she has been something special for me. I don't know what it is, but I just love me some Sandy B. And number two, I don't know if you guys have seen her. She's a talk show host, brand new to the to TV, named Cameron.
Nope.
You gotta look her up. Look up Cameron, talk show host. Oh man, it don't get any sharper than this. And the third person I think would stun me would be I don't know, maybe Jerome Bettis.
Yeah, that makes sense for you.
Yeah,
it does make sense.
Jerome Bettis.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to. Yeah, you'd run over to him in the stands. You'd forget why you were shooting a free throw.
The team would be looking at me like, "What are you doing, man?
Right.
Gotta meet the bus, man." So, okay, all right, guys, let's move on to some music news real quick. Just a couple of notes here. 2016, little quick, interesting story, and I'll ask you guys another question. Okay. In 2016, a study was done that said that music playlists had replaced listening to albums. Sure. Guys, I remember maybe we did it. Certainly our co-host and friend, Coach Cooper, I know we did it several times where we were at the record store when the new music came out. We'd go home, total quiet, listen to the whole album back to front. Now people are making music playlists. I know on my Apple Music, I have yet to make a playlist. I go to albums when I'm at the gym or whatever. But a lot of people are using music playlists. Have you switched to music playlists, Pat? And so when did you do it, Fish?
I've been on playlists for quite a long time, actually, and it just it's just super convenient to you think about the days where you had to spend all the time and invest. Now it's just like I want to hear this song, this song, and you just throw it in there, and you have. And then a lot of the shows I listen to on Sirius XM and otherwise are basically just a large playlist, in that genre. You know what I'm saying? So. Yeah, it's just convenient and all that. Yeah, lost art listening to an album.
I just told myself
I need
I'm
to
gonna
do
start
more
making
of that,
playlists.
though. I need to do more of that, though. Going
Yeah,
back
I'll
to
listen
some
to whole
albums here
albums
or
at the
there.
gym sometimes. All
Yeah,
right, Skinner.
I do both, but I started playlists probably in high school when hitting that record button on the cassette tape.
Oh yeah. Back
make
then
those
you
tapes
had to.
For that special girl.
You had to make them tapes, baby.
So you think back,
driving tape.
You're talking about playlist 2020, but our playlist 1986 was basically the same thing. It just wasn't digital. But I have playlists. I have a workout playlist. I have a work playlist. So I put those songs that if somebody else heard over my shoulder, it wouldn't be. I wouldn't get into for trouble. And then of course
what's on your baby making playlist?
Oh yeah, I don't need any of those. I had enough babies. We're done with that. But but I also
pull
have
up to
albums.
my bumper, baby.
I also have full albums on my Apple Play. I download the whole album, so I do a little bit of both.
Okay, awesome. Okay, also in music news, guys, story this day in music in 2002, Sting won an Oscar, Best Musical Performance, and Sting in Tuscany. And I started thinking about all the different musicians that have won Oscars, not for musical performances, but for actually acting or been nominated. Not necessarily win, but nominated. And then I said, wow, how about all the actors who have tried to dip in music? So I wanted to quickly just name some and see which list you guys think is a little bit more legitimate or that you take more serious, okay? So here is a list of, real quick, musicians that were nominated for Oscars. Of course, one of the best and famous, Cher, was huge in her role. And also, what was the other one with the kid with the face?
Mask.
Oh yeah, Mask. Yes, very popular. Bobby Darin, going all the way back to 1963, was nominated for Best Supporting Actor, and Captain Newman, MD. Doris Day, obviously, for Pillow Talk. She succeeded in both genres. Mark Wahlberg, one of the most interesting ones on my list. This guy came out as Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, and he's now one of my favorite action stars out there.
He's a great actor.
He was a Shooter and so many others. And another one who I am a huge fan of, because she really turned her career into something special. Queen Latifah was just a hood rapper, if you will. Now she's outstanding. She had a talk show host. She's been outstanding in movies, and now she hosts one of my favorite shows, The Equalizer. If you guys haven't seen that on TV,
have you heard her sing? Not rap, actually sing. She's got a beautiful voice.
Yes. She was in Chicago. She was she has a great voice.
She's got a beautiful voice.
Bette Midler was just amazing. Midler and Streisand are back and forth in that category. They were both great musicians and great actresses. And then, people like Anne Margaret, Frank Sinatra, you had to be back then.
Will Smith.
Yeah, Will Smith, another great one. Bing Crosby, Jennifer Hudson, who had won American Idol, was on American Idol, and she was amazing in Dreamgirls, one of my favorite movies with Eddie Murphy. Outstanding. Will Smith's a huge name. Of course, Diana Ross, and we did Barbra Streisand. So that's the musicians that got into acting. Now, real quick, actors who thought they could make albums. They were singers.
Lady Gaga as well was in the
Yeah,
Star
Lady
Wars one.
Gaga.
She was very good in that. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Anyways,
Tremendous.
a lot more.
Tremendous actress, tremendous musician.
Mhm.
Eddie Murphy. My girl likes to party all the time.
Yeah.
That song was huge.
Fun song, but
did you take him serious at all?
No.
Oh God. Kevin Bacon made the Bacon Brothers. Did you know they made an album?
Yeah.
Did you hear any of it?
I have not heard any of it. No.
Jada Pinkett Smith. She played Will Smith's wife. Did you know not only does she sing, but she plays lead guitar?
No, I didn't know that.
I knew she was a musician. I didn't know they had published anything though.
Okay, and of course we know David Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
Jeff Bridges made an album. William Shatner.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Jennifer
Lawrence.
talks. He talks through the album. It's kind of funny actually.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Maya Rudolph, the comedian.
Mm-hmm.
Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah. He's actually good.
I can see him doing it.
He's got a crooner thing he does. He made like Christmas albums and stuff like that. It's actually pretty good.
Oh, okay. And Russell Crowe.
And there's there's Eclipse making an appearance here. Hi, Kitty. Come on. Sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. Steve Martin has lots of banjo stuff. He's good at the banjo.
He's very good.
Yeah, yes. He can play. Tom Hardy, who plays Venom, had no idea that he had a mixtape out. And Katie Seagal, she did backup vocals for Bette Miller and James and some other people. That's how good she is.
She did a lot of singing in the Sons of Anarchy show.
Yeah.
She did made a lot of songs there.
Yeah, so because of time, I won't go through the whole list, but those are a couple of... Which list do you find more legitimate, Fish?
It's definitely more legitimate when musicians you get into the acting world. That's what they do. That is their Oh my god!
Yeah, the cat got him.
Yeah, one of the driving.
There's a joke in here somewhere, but I ain't gonna say it. Go ahead.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's their profession. They can make the transition much easier than the other way around. So I would rather watch, movies that musicians made versus listen to music that actors made. Although there's some good stuff both ways.
It seems like actors get bored and have delusions of grandeur and want to be a musician or an athlete. As opposed to musicians are just talented extroverts. And all right, Skinner, which list do you find more legitimate?
I'm with Fish. I would rather watch a good singer become a great actor. Will Smith, Marky Mark, those are two guys that I absolutely love watching on the big screen. But I did listen to their music when they were younger.
Right. Yeah. I totally agree with both you guys, except when the actor or musician is forced to be in a movie and they're horrible and there's no talent there. So I guess that works both ways. Celebrity birthdays real quick. Happy birthday to the boss, Bruce Springsteen. We won't get into him. And to Ray Charles. Rest in peace. So with this, we'll transition on to Fish with some pop culture.
All right. Well, we'll get into this topic next week. Just think about this. We won't get into it now. But the Emmys were on Sunday, and certainly making a lot of news this week is that of all of the actor and actress winners, there was no winner. There were nominations, but no winner of a person of color. So let's get into this next week. Is this something is this legitimate, or does this continue to be racial, news that the media is creating, or a little bit of both? So let's talk about that more next week. So for the time we have left, I do want to just pause. We did have a significant unfortunate death in the pop culture world. Comedian Norm MacDonald passed away recently at age 61 from cancer. He kept that pretty secret. But certainly a very funny man, and definitely known for his weekend updates on Saturday Night Live in the 90s. He was definitely known for making a lot of fun of O.J. Simpson during the murder trial at the time. That's what ultimately got him fired from that role. But everything I saw him on, he just had that very good dry wit about him, and he really didn't care. He definitely pushed the envelope. So enjoyed his work. Rest in peace. So Keith, Norm MacDonald.
Okay, first of all, you know who he reminds me of? You.
Well, any remote, that's quite the compliment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any remote comparison, yeah.
Absolutely. Love Norm MacDonald. Of course, he actually got fired, if my memory is correct. On Saturday Night Live, he was the first person to let the F word slip out. You guys remember that?
Yeah, I know some guy did that in the 80s. I don't know if that was Norm MacDonald or not, but even still, he was definitely fired, though. Yeah.
I love this humor. He was a certain person that, like a Chevy, or if you didn't get him, you just didn't get him.
Yeah.
He had a unique sense of humor. One of my favorite. Every now and then I like a movie that don't have to be intellectually great, don't have to be superheroes, don't have to be dramatical. It's just stupid, silly fun. And I watched the movie Dirty Work and just crack up laughing. Just a dumb, stupid movie, man. And he just cracks me up in that movie. Love Norm MacDonald.
Skinner?
I was not a Saturday Night Live fan, or nor am I. But I do know Norm MacDonald, and I knew the roles that he played. Used to watch a lot of clips on YouTube and stuff like that in his later times. Very funny guy. He reminds me a lot of Adam Sandler, and just the kind of wit. He had a smart wit to him. He was a smart comedian, if you understand what I mean by that. It's 61. I heard
he was cynical.
He was cynical. But keeping it a secret, didn't want anybody to feel sorry for him, all that during his time that he was ill. But rest in peace, Norm. You were definitely going to be missed by many.
Yep.
And he was one of those rare comedians that had the combination of the sense of humor and the voice.
Yeah.
His voice was hysterical, and he was great with it.
Right.
Yep. Good stuff. All right. This last thing I'll throw at you guys here to check out. It's pop culture, music world here. But last week, Metallica released a 30th anniversary huge compilation of the Black Album.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
talked about that.
There's a lot of artists on it. Did I talk about this already?
Yeah, we already talked about it.
Oh, so sorry.
Like all the different artists that covered their songs.
All I want to mention is I've been listening to it, working my way through it. It's over 4 hours of music. A lot of interesting versions of these songs, from straight covers to there's like Mexican bands doing stuff and all kinds of different varieties.
Check that out.
Yeah, definitely check that out. Definitely,
I'll get that on my list, Fish. Right now, I'm working my way through. Can't think of the name real quick, but the new Maiden album. At the gym.
Terrific.
I am not digging it yet so far.
Oh boy, I like it.
But I'm barely getting into it. So
okay,
I'll wait to finish.
I'm glad you brought up Metallica. I watched Jungle Cruise today. The very first song that comes out on that movie. Do you know what that song is? It's a classical version of "Nothing Else Matters."
Yeah, how about that? Yep.
Yeah, if you go back and listen to the very beginning of the movie. What's that?
You talking about with The Rock?
Yeah, with the movie with The Rock. Yeah, it's a classical
version. What did you think of that movie?
It was interesting.
It was fun. I liked it.
Like Fisher said, I had no desire to see it. I was not going to go out and absolutely have to go see this, but I'm glad I did.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Yeah.
All right. That is a wrap, fellas.
Okay. Well, sorry we didn't leave you much time.
That's all right. A little short today on time. It's not a full hour show.
How about we start with you next week? Because I certainly want to engage that topic about the Emmys. I think that needs to be talked about, and we'll certainly get into that.
Absolutely. No problem at all. Sounds great.
All right, take us home, Fish.
All right, so for Michael Skinner and Keith Porter, I'm Brian Fisher. Thank you for listening, watching. It came from GenX. New episodes every week. Look for more information on the @Reality Football 1 page on Facebook. Keith will keep you posted there on the reality football stuff. We'll keep you posted on our page as well. So that's it. So thanks for your support. Tune in again next week.
I got to go take my water pill.
Yeah,
go take your
damn
water pill.
Stay strong, Gen X. And cut.